Quantum mechanics makes a strange prediction. Every particle in your body exists in multiple states simultaneously. Yet you experience yourself as singular, one body, one mind, one continuous stream of consciousness. This should be impossible. According to the math, you should be a superposition of countless versions of yourself, all interfering with each other, all equally real. But you're not, and the reason has one word that explains everything: decoherence. It's the process that separates quantum possibility from classical reality, and it's been operating inside your body since the moment you were born, invisible, relentless, and absolutely essential to your existence. So what exactly is decoherence, and why does it hide the quantum multiverse from you? Here's the short answer. Decoherence happens so fast at human scales that quantum interference vanishes before you can detect it. The other versions of you aren't gone. They're just hidden behind a wall of environmental noise that grows faster than light can travel across your body. Now let me show you exactly how this happens. Quantum superposition requires isolation. No information leaking to the environment. The moment a quantum system interacts with its surroundings, something changes. Environmental interactions aren't just disturbances, they're measurements. Each air molecule, photon, or thermal vibration acts as a tiny observer. These interactions entangle the quantum system with the environment irreversibly. The coherent quantum waves representing multiple states become decohered. They don't disappear, they become so scrambled with environmental information that interference vanishes. Think of it like trying to hear one radio station when thousands broadcast on the same frequency. The other quantum states become indistinguishable noise your senses can't detect. This happens incredibly fast, picoseconds for macroscopic objects. This speed is crucial. It means the universe doesn't give quantum weirdness time to accumulate at scales you can see. By the time your brain processes a single thought, decoherence has already isolated trillions of quantum branches. Your body is warm, wet, and noisy. Instant decoherence at every scale. The math describes this precisely. The Schrödinger equation describes evolution. Decoherence shows how environmental entanglement destroys observable superposition. Laboratory proof comes from measuring decoherence rates by controlling environmental interaction. Isolate a quantum system better, quantum weirdness persists longer. Expose it to more environmental noise, classical behavior emerges faster. Let's test this with a thought experiment. Imagine you're holding a quantum coin that exists in superposition, both heads and tails simultaneously. In a perfect laboratory, at near absolute zero, this coin could theoretically stay in superposition for hours. But bring that same coin into your warm hand. The moment it touches your skin, decoherence begins. Within picoseconds, the quantum superposition entangles with billions of thermal photons, air molecules, and electromagnetic fields. The coin branches into two separate realities, one where it landed heads, one where it landed tails. Each branch is equally real, but they can never interfere with each other again. This just happened to you right now, billions of times. This is why your body can't be quantum. Scale matters fundamentally in quantum mechanics. An electron can genuinely be in two places at once. It's small enough to maintain coherence. A cat cannot, despite Schrödinger's thought experiment. The difference isn't philosophical, it's physical. Environmental interaction scales with size. Old isolated systems in labs maintain superposition because scientists eliminate environmental coupling. Quantum computers work by keeping qubits at near absolute zero in extreme isolation. Living systems operate at body temperature with constant molecular chaos. Every biochemical reaction, every photon of light, every thermal fluctuation causes decoherence. The decoherence threshold sits roughly at the molecular scale, where quantum effects start vanishing. This is why quantum healing claims are scientifically suspect. Your body's warm, complex environment destroys quantum coherence almost instantly. No amount of intention or consciousness can overcome thermodynamic reality at macro scales. Picture a scale from quantum to electron to atomic to molecular to cellular to macro. At each level, environmental interaction increases exponentially. The universe isn't hiding quantum weirdness maliciously. Physics simply works this way. Decoherence is the mechanism that creates the stable, predictable classical world you navigate. Without it, reality would be an incomprehensible blur of interfering possibilities. But here's where it gets controversial. Most scientists say your brain follows these same rules. Instant decoherence, purely classical function. One team of researchers disagreed. The Orch-OR theory, proposed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff. They suggest microtubules inside neurons might maintain quantum coherence. Microtubules are protein structures that form the cell's skeleton. Penrose argues consciousness involves non-computable quantum processes. Hameroff points to microtubules as the biological substrate where this could occur. The theory proposes quantum vibrations in microtubule lattices create conscious moments. These vibrations would need to maintain coherence long enough to matter, controversial claim. Most physicists are deeply skeptical, for good reason. The brain is warm, 37 dC, wet, constant ion flow, and electrically noisy. These conditions should destroy quantum coherence in nanoseconds, not allow sustained effect. However, recent quantum biology discoveries complicate the picture. Photosynthesis uses quantum coherence at room temperature. Bird navigation might exploit quantum entanglement in magnetic field detection. If nature found ways to protect quantum effects in warm, wet environments, maybe the brain did too? The theory remains unproven but testable. Experiments are ongoing. Anesthetics that affect microtubules correlate with consciousness loss. Suggestive, not conclusive. The question isn't settled, it's an active area of research. What we know, classical neural firing alone might not fully explain subjective experience. What we don't know, whether quantum mechanics plays any functional role in consciousness. The scientific consensus leans toward classical explanations being sufficient, but the hard problem of consciousness, why experience feels like something, remains unsolved. Orch-OR offers one speculative bridge between quantum substrate and conscious experience. The challenge is measurement. The very act of measuring quantum effects in the brain might destroy them through decoherence. You can't observe quantum coherence without environmental interaction, and environmental interaction is what destroys coherence. It's like trying to photograph a shadow using only bright lights. So scientists use indirect approaches, looking for signatures of quantum processes in neural patterns rather than measuring quantum states directly. The technology is improving. The experiments are ongoing. For now, the question remains open. Multiple incompatible approaches coexist. Decoherence approaches explain collapse through environmental interaction without requiring consciousness. Many worlds interpretation posits all quantum outcomes occur in parallel branches. Objective collapse theories propose wave function collapse is a physical process independent of observation. Each framework offers different implications for consciousness. But here's what none of them dispute. You are happening at the exact moment quantum becomes classical, not metaphorically, literally. Every sensation you feel right now, the pressure of your seat, the light hitting your eyes, the sound of these words, emerged from quantum superposition within the last picosecond. You don't observe reality. You are the collapse point where infinite possibility becomes singular experience. This is what you've been your entire life, the threshold itself. So far, we've answered the physics question. How does decoherence create classical reality? But there's a deeper question hiding underneath. What is your role in this process? You're not a passive observer of decoherence. You're not just watching quantum possibilities collapse into classical outcomes. You exist at the boundary where this collapse happens. And that changes everything. You are built from quantum components, but experience classical reality. Every atom in your body follows quantum rules, yet you perceive definite outcomes. Decoherence is the mechanism that creates this transition. It's not a wall separating two worlds, it's a dynamic process happening constantly. Meditation and contemplative practices might access something at this boundary, not by maintaining quantum coherence, thermodynamics prevents that, but by quieting the mental noise that obscures the quantum foundation of experience. Stillness, silence, and presence reduce the internal decoherence of scattered attention. This is metaphorical, not literal quantum mechanics, but it points to something real about the relationship between awareness and reality. What does this look like in practice? Try this right now, don't just read it. Sit quietly, notice your breath. Each inhale, each exhale represents trillions of quantum interactions, crystallizing into the sensation of air moving through your lungs. You're not creating anything new. You're becoming aware of the quantum to classical transition that's already happening. The moment you notice the breath, that moment of awareness, is the moment decoherence is occurring. Your attention isn't mystically maintaining quantum coherence. It's simply recognizing the instant when quantum possibility becomes classical sensation. This is what contemplative practice reveals, not quantum effects in your brain, but the boundary where quantum substrate becomes conscious experience. Your consciousness emerged from quantum processes, even if it operates classically now. The mystery remains, why does observation seem to matter in quantum mechanics? Why does measurement collapse superposition into definite outcomes? These questions connect physics to the nature of awareness itself. You don't need to maintain quantum coherence to appreciate the quantum substrate of existence. Understanding decoherence reveals why reality appears solid while being fundamentally probabilistic. Consciousness might be the bridge, not through mystical quantum effects, but through the capacity for awareness to recognize its own quantum origins. Think about what this means for your daily experience. Every sensation you feel, every thought you think, every decision you make emerges from quantum processes that have already decohered into classical outcomes. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the taste of morning coffee, the sound of rain against windows. All of these arise from quantum interactions that branched into definite experiences through environmental entanglement. You stand at the threshold between quantum possibility and classical actuality, not somewhere abstract, but right here, in the space between your quantum substrate and your conscious experience. Consciousness is the lens through which one becomes the other. But what does it mean to be a conscious lens? Does awareness simply observe the transition from quantum to classical, or does it somehow participate in selecting which quantum branch becomes your experienced reality? The practices that approach this boundary with clarity, meditation, mindfulness, contemplative awareness, don't create quantum effects. They train your awareness to notice the moment-to-moment collapse of possibility into actuality. The quantum to classical transition isn't a distant phenomenon. It's happening in every breath, every thought, every sensation. Decoherence explains why you don't see quantum ghosts in daily life. Environmental interaction destroys superposition at macro scales almost instantly. But your foundation, every particle, every interaction, is still quantum. The classical world you experience emerges from quantum substrate through decoherence. Whether consciousness plays a special role remains an open question. What's certain? You exist at the threshold between quantum possibility and classical actuality. Subscribe to explore practices that approach this boundary with clarity, not fantasy.